Welcome to Story Orbit N, the podcast where we mix laughter, learning, and those unforgettable moments that make us blush. My name is Jessica, and I am so ready to dive into today's topic.
And I'm Tom. Today we're talking about embarrassing stories, the kind of things that happen to everyone, but we rarely want to admit.
That's right, Tom. And the best thing is that while we tell our silly and painful stories, we'll also explain English words, grammar, and expressions. So even if we embarrass ourselves, you'll learn something valuable.
So, shall we start with one that happens to so many people? Walking into the wrong restroom?
Oh no, I've definitely done that. Mine was at an airport, which made it even worse. I was so tired after a long flight dragging my suitcase, and I just pushed the door open and went in. I didn't even look at the sign.
And let me guess, you realized only when people stared at you.
Exactly. Everyone turned their heads. I froze for a second, then I slowly backed out like a cartoon character. It was mortifying, but at least no one shouted at me.
That is such a classic. Let's break down some words for our listeners. First, restroom. In American English, that's the polite way to say toilet or bathroom. For example, excuse me, where's the restroom? In British English, people usually say toilet or loo.
And then we use the verb to stare. When someone stares, it means they look at you for a long time, usually with wide eyes, often because they are surprised or confused. Example, he stared at the painting for 5 minutes. Or, everyone stared at me when I dropped my drink.
Another phrase Jessica used was backed out. That's a phrasal verb. It literally means to move backwards to leave a space. But it can also mean to cancel a plan. For example, she backed out of the meeting, which means she decided not to attend.
So in my case, I backed out physically, not socially. But I wish I could have disappeared completely.
You know what? I have a similar story, but with a parking lot. I once tried to open a car that wasn't mine.
Wow, Tom. Really?
Yes. I had just come out of the supermarket carrying heavy bags, and I saw a car that looked exactly like mine. I didn't even think twice. I went straight to it, pulled the handle, and wondered why the key wasn't working. Then the real owner walked up and gave me the most suspicious look.
That is priceless. Did you apologize?
Of course, I said. Sorry, it looks just like my car. Luckily, he laughed, but I wanted the ground to swallow me.
Let's explain a few things here. First, parking lot. In American English, that's the big area where you park cars. In British English, they usually say car park. So, I left my car in the parking lot, or I parked in the car park.
And the phrase, didn't think twice, that's an idiom. It means you acted quickly without stopping to consider. For example, when she saw the cake, she didn't think twice before eating it.
Another good one is suspicious look. That means someone looks at you like they don't trust you, maybe thinking you're up to something bad. Example, the security guard gave me a suspicious look when I walked into the shop with a big backpack.
Exactly how the car owner looked at me, but at least it ended with a laugh.
Speaking of laughs, let me share one that's not too bad, but made me feel silly. I once walked into the office on a Friday morning and very cheerfully said, "Happy Monday, everyone!"
That is adorable.
Nobody said anything at first. They just looked at me with confused faces. Then someone said, "Jessica, it's Friday," and I just wanted to crawl under my desk.
That is such a perfect example of being on autopilot. Listeners, let's look at the phrase without realizing. Jessica said she said, "Happy Monday," without realizing it was Friday. That phrase means you did something, but you weren't aware at the time. For example, I walked past my friend without realizing she was there.
And it's a good reminder that greetings matter. When you say Happy Monday, it's like a positive start to the week. But on a Friday, people are already thinking about the weekend.
True. If you want to be safe, you can just say good morning or have a nice day, no matter what day it is.
Agreed. But at least it gave everyone something to laugh about.
All right, my next story is about glass doors.
Oh, I already love where this is going.
I was walking in a shopping mall looking at my phone, of course, and I thought there was an open space in front of me. I walked straight into a glass door. Boom! My forehead hit it, and the sound was loud enough that people turned around.
Tom, that is pure comedy.
Thank you, thank you. I took a bow after.
Let's explain some words here. Forehead is the part of your face above your eyes and below your hair. Example, she kissed her child on the forehead.
Another useful expression is walk straight into. You can use it literally, like he walked straight into the door. or figuratively, like she walked straight into trouble.
Exactly. And here's a grammar point. Tom said, I was walking. That's past continuous tense. It describes something in progress in the past. For example, I was eating dinner when the phone rang, or they were studying when the lights went out.
Meanwhile, the action that interrupted is usually past simple, like the phone rang or the lights went out. In my story, I was walking when I hit the glass door.
Perfect teaching moment, even if your forehead suffered.
Thank you for your sympathy.
My next one is about food. I once ordered lunch at a cafe, and when it was time to pay, I realized I had forgotten my wallet at home.
Oh no, the nightmare.
I had no cash, no card, nothing. I had to explain awkwardly, I'm so sorry, I forgot my wallet at home. Luckily, the cafe was near my apartment, so they let me go get it. But still, so embarrassing.
Listeners, wallet is where you keep your money and cards. Example, he put his ID in his wallet.
And the phrase, forgot at home, be careful with this. In English, we don't say, I forgot my wallet in home. We say at home. For example, I left my umbrella at home, or I forgot my phone at home.
Another useful phrase Jessica said was time to pay. That's very common. For example, it's time to go, it's time to eat, or it's time to sleep.
That's right. And it was definitely time to be embarrassed.
I have a story with laughter, but not the good kind.
Oh, tell me.
I was at a dinner with friends and someone told a joke. Everyone laughed, so I laughed too, even though I didn't understand it. But then the worst thing happened. They asked me, hey, Tom, why is it funny?
Oh no, what did you do?
I froze. I just said, because it's clever. And they laughed even harder, but at me, not at the joke.
That's amazing. Let's explain for listeners. The word joke means something you say to make people laugh. Example, he told a funny joke about cats. And the verb to laugh means the sound you make when something is funny. Example, they laughed at the movie.
And then there's the verb, to explain. When someone asks you to explain, they want you to make something clear. For example, can you explain the rules of the game? Or, she explained why she was late.
And a good phrase here is didn't understand. It's past simple negative. Remember, we don't say I don't understood. We say I didn't understand. That's the correct structure.
Very important. And in my case, I really didn't understand.
Happens to the best of us.
Yes. Another one. I told someone, see you tomorrow. And then realized I wasn't going to see them tomorrow.
Oh, I've done that too. It just comes out automatically.
Exactly. It was the last day of a work project, so I wasn't going to see them again. They gave me a strange look and said, actually, no, you won't.
That's so funny. Let's teach this phrase. See you tomorrow is a common way to say goodbye if you expect to meet the person the next day. For example, see you tomorrow at school, or see you tomorrow at the office.
But if you won't actually see them, it sounds strange. So a safer option is, see you soon, or just goodbye.
Another important word here is realized. Tom said he realized he wouldn't see them. Realize means to suddenly understand something. Example, I realized I forgot my phone, or she realized he was joking.
And that realization always comes too late.
So true. Totally.
You know, Jessica, all these stories prove something important. Everyone makes silly mistakes, and it's actually a great way to learn and remember new words.
Absolutely. The more we laugh at our mistakes, the more memorable they become. If you forget your wallet once, you'll never forget the word wallet again.
Or if you bang your head on a glass door, you'll never forget glass door. Or forehead.
Totally. And speaking of unforgettable moments, I remember once spilling coffee on myself right before a super important meeting.
Oh no, classic. What happened exactly?
Well, I had just bought this big cup of coffee, and as I was walking into the meeting room, the cup slipped a little and splash! Half of it landed on my white shirt. And of course, white shirt plus coffee equals disaster.
Oh, that's a nightmare. And for learners, we should stop a second. The word spill means when a liquid falls out of its container by accident. So for example, you can say, I spilled water on the floor, or he spilled soup on the table. It's usually something you don't want to happen.
Right? And you always feel a little embarrassed when you spill things, especially if it's on yourself. And I love how you can use spill in other ways too, like spill your guts, which means to reveal something personal or confess something you've been holding inside. For example, he finally spilled his guts about what happened at the party.
Yes, that's a great idiom. It's funny because learners sometimes think it has to do with actual gut spilling out, but no, it just means confessing something personal or revealing something you weren't planning to share. And notice also the phrase you used earlier, right before. That's useful too. It means just a short time before something else. Like, I washed my hands right before dinner.
Exactly. In my case, I spilled coffee right before the meeting. Not 5 hours before, not the day before, but immediately before. And then you go in smelling like coffee.
Maybe it's good. People probably like the smell.
Another time, I didn't even notice that I wore my shirt inside out all day and nobody told me.
Oh, that's painful. Did you discover it yourself?
Yeah, I was at home in the evening, looked in the mirror, and realized the label was sticking out the front. The worst part is, I had been teaching that day.
That's great for learners. The phrase inside out is very useful. It describes when the inside of clothing is on the outside. For example, your socks are inside out. It can also be used in a figurative way, like I know this book inside out, meaning I know it very well.
Exactly. And the expression nobody told me is also useful. You can practice with different pronouns. Nobody told him, nobody told us. It means not one single person gave you the information.
Maybe they noticed but didn't want to embarrass you. Or maybe they didn't notice at all.
Honestly, I prefer to believe they didn't notice.
I've got one. I once sent a message to the wrong group chat and everyone saw it.
Oh, that's always awkward. What did you send?
I meant to send a silly joke to a couple of close friends, but I sent it to my family group chat instead. My grandma wrote back, "What does this mean?"
That's fantastic. Learners, this is a good chance to talk about the word chat. Today, it's very common to say group chat, which means a conversation with several people using a messaging app. For example, I have a group chat with my coworkers.
Right, and the grammar here is good practice too. I sent a message to the wrong group chat. The past tense of send is sent. A lot of learners mistakenly say sended, but that's incorrect.
Yes, sent is the correct past form. And I love the phrase, everyone saw it. That's another good structure. Everyone is singular in English, so you say everyone saw, not everyone saws. Here's one that still makes me laugh. I dropped my phone loudly in a silent library.
Oh no, the sound must have been like an explosion.
Exactly. It was one of those quiet, steady moments. Everyone was focused, and suddenly my phone hit the floor with a big bang.
Perfect teaching moment here. The adverb loudly describes how the action happened. He laughed loudly. She spoke loudly. And the word silent means very, very quiet, with almost no sound. So a silent library is the ideal place for something embarrassing like that.
Yes. And another thing, the verb to drop means when something falls from your hands by accident, like I dropped my keys.
I have another one. I forgot the name of someone I had already met 3 times.
That's brutal. How did you handle it?
I just smiled and said, "Hey, you." But inside, I was panicking.
Learners, notice the structure. I had already met. That's past perfect, which we use when one past action happened before another past action. So the order is, first you met the person 3 times, and later you forgot their name.
Yes, and already means before now, or before the moment we're talking about. Example, I have already eaten, which means I ate before now. Or, she had already left when I arrived.
Good point. And the word forgot is a past tense of forget. Many learners confuse forget, forgot, and forgotten. Example, I forget things easily, present. I forgot his name yesterday, past. I have forgotten my password, present perfect. And my last one is funny but super common. I waved goodbye to someone, but then we walked in the same direction.
That's the best. You both say goodbye, you make the dramatic wave, and then, surprise, you keep walking together for another 5 minutes.
Exactly. Learners, to wave means to move your hand in greeting or farewell. For example, she waved hello, or he waved goodbye. And goodbye itself is just a way to say, see you later.
And direction is another nice word. It means the way someone or something moves. For example, she is walking in the opposite direction.
So in my case, I waved goodbye, thinking we were going different ways, but we were both walking in the same direction. Awkward silence.
Yes, and that's a perfect example of English humor. A situation that's not terrible, just a little strange.
You know, all these embarrassing stories are actually great tools for English learners because once you connect a new word with a funny memory, you never forget it.
Exactly. Nobody forgets the time they spilled coffee, wore a shirt inside out, or walked in the wrong direction after saying goodbye. These small moments stick in your head, and so do the words.
And when you tell your own stories in English, you practice vocabulary, grammar, and storytelling all together.
Which is why we love doing this podcast. Because making mistakes or having awkward moments is part of being human and also part of learning a language.
So next time you spill something, or forget a name, or drop your phone loudly, don't just feel embarrassed. Think, this is my chance to learn a new word.
And maybe even laugh about it later with us.
Before we wrap up, let's do a super quick review of all the words and expressions we explained today, so our listeners can remember them more easily.
Good idea. We started with restroom, which in American English means bathroom or toilet. In British English, they usually just say toilet or loo.
Then we had to stare, meaning to look at someone or something for a long time, usually with surprise or confusion.
We also explained to back out. That can mean moving backwards to leave a space, or it can mean canceling a plan.
From the parking lot story, we learned parking lot in American English and car park in British English.
And the phrase didn't think twice, which means doing something quickly without hesitation.
Don't forget suspicious look, which is when someone looks at you as if they don't trust you.
Then, from the Monday story, we explained without realizing, which means doing something without being aware of it.
From the glass door story, we had forehead, the part of the face above the eyes. And the phrase walk straight into, which can be used literally or figuratively.
Plus, a reminder of past continuous and past simple working together, like I was walking when I hit the door.
Then from the cafe story, we had wallet, where you keep your money and cards, and the phrase forgot at home. Remember, it's at home, not in home.
We also reviewed the phrase time to pay as a common structure like time to go or time to eat.
From the joke story, we covered joke, to laugh, to explain, and the grammar of didn't understand. I think we've shared enough embarrassing moments for today. Otherwise, our listeners will start thinking we live in constant disaster mode.
See you next time, and I really mean it this time, not like when you say, see you tomorrow, and then never appear. Bye!
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.